So, Biden was supposed to be out with the Queen. When I look at this footage, I don't see any of this as being real. Too much glitching, too much wobbling, too much they're not in the same perspective thing that goes on, because everybody's been stuck in to the cartoon. Biden's head doesn't look right on the building. There, see? Did you see that? His head, when he hits that drain pipe, doesn't look right. Anyway, we're moving on, because the wibble wobble is always a wibble wobble. As Biden starts walking towards the camera, I realised that he had this big cross on the top of his head. What's that supposed to signal? He's in! He's in! I don't know. Anyway, I was looking at him walking and the wobbling going on and that drain pipe. When you slow down there, it'll go weird as he walks past that drain pipe, which has nothing to do with it. Face looking a bit weird, and then that cross on the head. Criss-cross. Here he comes. Coming into the frame. It's not that difficult because they're moving when you're trying to zoom in, and it's not that easy. Anyway, I'm sure people record easy. Anyway, here he comes. And then this sort of cross appears on his head. The closer he gets to the camera, I was looking at his head. Do you see that on the drain pipe? Oh, and here comes the cross, and the devil eyes. Go. Look at that devil! I don't understand how YouTube see any of this and say that's a deep fake. They're the gateway for deep fake. You know, YouTube, but it's just playing to them. Basically, it's not our tube, it's their tube, and it's playing to them. And I thought she was also a strange or a bit bizarre behind. Yeah, look at her. No one ever looks right up against, you know, that wall. Here it comes. It's just looking. I was trying to capture that wibble wobble in the picture, but it is there. He seems to touch everything. His head touches everything, which is impossible when he's in front. There is that cross thing in his head. It looks more like an aeroplane now, but it's a cross. Look at that. Shh. Spin. Like in a vampire film. Hey, James has joined me now on my video. James, I was just saying, what do you reckon that the cross is for?
10th look-alike Roman numerals, I guess.
Right, it looks like a cross, but it turned, and at the end, I'm not quite. It's a different shape at the end. Sorry, what were you going to say, James?
On there's like 13 Putins or something.
No, Putin is still to do with the Holy Roman Empire, which is all strange. And in his video, he wasn't like, this isn't real.
I think give it away with Michael Caine with the eagle that's landed. It's sort of like a look-alike Winston Churchill. I think they sort of tell us that there are decoys. It would make sense anyway, tactically.
Well, at the moment we can see through Biden's shoulder, but what it is that was the hardest thing that I got my head around, that when we were talking about Elvis, there was Elvis on the television, Elvis singer, Elvis this, Elvis that. There's loads of Elvises.
Yeah.
Like there's loads of Bidens, loads of Queens.
Bound to be. Well, some of them, they don't look quite the same.
This is all to do with the G7 talks, though, James. You know, we're there. None of them were there.
Well, it's just theatre for the TV, and it's just another thing, another soap, another drama, another bit of gossip to follow.
And do you know what they did? Later on, we're going to watch it. We're going to have a laugh. The Queen decides to cut this cake. What she does is she decides to cut this big cake with a sword. and she can't do
Yeah.
it. And they're all going, like Camilla wants to help. Anyway, none of them are real. None of it happened. And in the end, they have to get a knife out so she can do it because she's trying to cut it with this big, and she can't do it.
Well, that in itself is rather strange. When you think about all these ceremonies and things, they're always rehearsed and absolutely perfect, no mistakes, and now we're expected to have this and believe it's the same. That's shoddy in comparison.
We're looking at Biden's wife's hands, which are very strange. But, well, they don't have to practice nothing, do they? Because the computer does it all for them.
Yeah. It's sort of Disney Pixar.
Can you imagine being in charge of this? Right, we've got the Queen coming over today. That's what we're making.
It's probably all green screens and CGI.
Cartoons games. I mean, This is the place where I think, the last time that Prince Philip was there for his funeral, and there we are all again with all the guards and everything, with the Queen and the fake Biden and his wife, who aren't really there anyway, and the Queen's wobbling all over the place. At least we can see her, or whoever she is, because she's probably Queen number 25,000. I've got some pictures coming up in a minute, because how they expect us to accept these people, the way that they hold things. The Queen, her head goes right forward nowadays. I mean, I know you don't really care, James, but
No.
she does it straight. She leans forward and her neck comes out. I never noticed when that happened.
Nah, that's a recent. Well, I suppose it depends which one they use, really.
Yeah, I suppose.
That's a difficult thing to then replicate. It's a strange thing to do.
You see through the Queen's hat. It doesn't look right. Up here, look. Up here it wasn't right. But if it was real, this would just not happen. But because it's not happened. Anyway, we're going to finish this little bit in a minute, because the Queen has only made about 5 steps in the garden, and I just see everything's wrong, so I videoed it, and now it's taken about 10 minutes. Because I can't stand it when I see it's not real. You just see it, you can't help it. For all those that watch it and it all skims past and no one says a word and they don't even I see it all. That's why I can't watch it unless I'm making a video.
This is this thing, Revelations, isn't it? It's some people see it, as a lot still don't.
I don't think people want to take it's fake. I sometimes think these people are real. I mean, look at the people in the background, the stick people.
Yeah.
In the pictures, none of them are real either.
To be honest, the system is beautiful, what it actually shows. It's just, once you see the way it's showing it. I mean, at the moment, spiritually, it's saying just have patience. So what does the system give you? Lots and lots of patience, or supposedly lots of patience. I mean, I don't know if you've seen or listened to what I said in the last video. The ambulance got called here.
Oh.
Right. Health problems and things, serious coughing. So the periodically phone during the night, and then come 9 hours later. They're using basically the paramedics as what they call out-hospitaling. So you're like a hospital patient but at home, and it's time ambulances. So to the Joe public, oh look how busy all the paramedic service is. Yeah, because they're overseeing what basically should be the work of a doctor. Or it's just this illusory scam.
James, 1 second. I'll just let you finish, because we're going on to something else. I'm just going to stop the video there because I want to talk on that bit. We'll just finish on this bit. Sorry, this guy here on the right is just not right. None of his head's right. Anyway, that is awful to do that, isn't it? To change the whole system in front of us without saying anything.
It gets worse than that. I mean, everything in this reality comes down to good cop, bad cop routine. So now, because I opened the door and I thought, that's strange, 3 paramedics, because normally you get one who's in the back of the ambulance and the other one is the driver. But now you've got 3, and to quote the person involved, you've got one doing things to you, the other 2 alternately firing questions at you, so you can't focus on. So it's It's awful what is going on right under people's noses, and they can't
I'm
see
sorry
it.
about that. Is your friend all right?
Yeah, she's okay. It was more sort of a sort of overreaction, but the trouble is, I mean, it's the last thing you want to do is call an ambulance or have anything to do with that health service.
No, you don't want anything to do with it. Anyway, I know that this is really. We'll talk about it afterwards, James, because we're in the middle of this video on the raw fact. I'm going to put the video on because for this video, right? Biden's wife has blue eyes, but they show her with brown. The Queen has blue eyes, they show her with brown. And Biden has blue eyes, and they show him with brown. So what does that tell you then?
They must be all related to Boris, because doesn't he have changing colour eyes as well?
Yeah, Boris has blue eyes. I'm just showing that the Queen has blue eyes. And just say, for instance, she doesn't. They've put her with blue eyes. Now she's got brown. It's all CGI. None of it's real. And do you know what? This part of it, I'm sick to death of telling people that part of it. Because you cannot believe a word of anything they say once you know that what you're looking at is not real. The Queen has blue eyes. Biden has blue eyes. His wife has blue eyes. Putin has blue eyes. Boris has blue eyes. Who else? Trump has blue eyes. But on this thing, they have brown eyes. And what does that mean then, James?
Well,
they're not real. You can't change the colour of someone's eyes. I'm showing that they've got the wrong coloured eyes, which means none of these people are real on here. They're CGI. Why would they bother to do it? Because they're not at the G7 meeting.
Well, there's other reasons as well.
Well, they're not there. It's all fake. That's what it means. Oh, someone's starting to soar away now.
Unless there's a reason.
Yeah, but they don't. We've noticed any of it because we're so stupid. We haven't noticed it for the last 50. So this is. I don't trust a picture of him walking up there and he's got like a square knee, and I just don't get that either. But and this one, I've got to say this: the Queen and Biden are supposed to be talking. None of them are together, and then you've got two of the soldiers in the background, the beef eaters, and the size of them compared to the Queen. It's most bizarre. And then this little bit of a walk when they're supposed to be walking off of this meal. Formal here and Radi. And this is the same time when Queen and her have got the same clothes on. I never realised how tall Kate was, actually. She's manly tall.
Oh yeah, there's no surprise there.
Well, basically, she's got shoes on, but she's just... And what it is Kate, Camilla and the Queen, and then she's got like a sabre. You know, she's got one of those slightly arched swords. And she's trying to put it cake like this and do a line, and it's just so embarrassing. What are they supposed to be doing? Making it obvious the Queen can't cope with a knife. You know, she can't cope with anything. Cope with cutting a cake. She's a stupid old woman. Is that what this is about?
Well, would you keep
in the middle of everybody in this G7 thing, because ultimately she is the owner of most of the world. She's head of most of the countries. But when I slowed this footage down, you can see that none right. It's not next to Camilla here. This is all superimposed. The whole damn thing. Right. Absolutely.
It is. It really is. It's It works on a binary system of 0 and 1, but the butlers have been flipped around the other way, like a mirror over.
In this bit of footage, literally it might be a minute long, and I've slowed it down a lot so that it might be 5. So it isn't as long as it appears to be, but she just cannot cope with cutting this cake. And even this whole thing, you know, during the Queen was there, there's just a few strawberries around it and a few flowers someone picked from the garden. In a pot. Special. You know, with the Queen there, you'd think it would all be silver and... I don't think we're noticing that they don't care about how they do all this, really. It goes in one ear, one eye, out the other, and we just don't think anything more of it, except it gives you, I suppose, but... Here's Camilla.
Well...
Oh, she can't do it. She can't do it.
The subconscious being old, don't forget.
Yeah, well, that's the bit I don't like. Like, they're giving everybody fake history, you know, like, we'll just pick, like, 9/11 or even when Diana died, things like that, or everybody knows where they were that was there, knows where they... I mean, look at Kate, she looks weird there. But anyway, everybody knows where they were. And then they've got...
So what is it saying to you?
Well, they're giving us memories that we should never have.
It's all going in through being taken in through the subconscious. So the best way is to just ignore it.
Yeah, now, but I'm just saying that's what they've done. There's no way that Queen is standing next to Camilla. There's something, I mean, Queen's dress has almost changed colour on a bit of it. I don't know what they've done there. There's something wrong with the layover here, with this bit here. There's something wrong.
Well, to be honest, the only function that the Queen actually has, really, and I can't even remember the last time I've done the process, is sticking her on a face on an envelope and putting her in a post box. That's about all she's good for. As a stamp.
Is it that she was the ruler of everything and she isn't anymore? I just don't know.
I don't know. Don't care. At the end of the day, it's you know who is behind it. It's shown in this reality. I don't think you'll ever find out the actual name of what it is that's behind it, or it just goes behind so many masks. Viennese balls, basically.
Well, it's got to be because the Queen's in it, Boris is in it, the sports people are in it, the musicians are in it. It's got to be pretty damn big, whatever it is.
They basically think of them like it's a travelling fun fair, and they're carnivores, basically.
Anybody watching this can see that Camilla's arm is wrong and the Queen's arm is wrong. It's in full sight for you to see. Just slightly slowed down, they're glitching. Not only that, their arms aren't right, and the Queen still hasn't even cut the cake yet.
They're just attention whores, that's all they are.
Imagine that she makes everybody laugh and they're all going, but it's embarrassing, I think, because she can't even she picks why the Queen had to pick that great big bendy sword to cut the cake. God only knows. It's stupid. And then of course then someone in her a knife and she cuts it with a knife. But why would she want to do that? She just looks like an idiot. She's supposed to be the ruler of all these countries.
Well, it's all to do with ritual symbolism, with everything. The sabre will have
Oh, 1 second, James. Sorry, James, we were rudely interrupted by a phone call. So what were you saying?
Well, you think about it, everything is all sort of rituals and symbols and traditions and all this sort of nonsensical walk 3 paces this way and stand there and bow to them and salute to them and do this hand gesture there. And it's ridiculous, the whole thing. And then look at the way they're dressed. Oh.
Well, the Queen's got a floral dress. Oh, look at her face there. That is just bizarre, that bit. But she's got a floral dress on, and Camilla's got some sort of patterned black and white dress, and Kate's in white.
When they do all this nonsense with the royal balcony, and then you'll get all the sort of princes come out, and they've got all these decorations and medals on the left sort of side of their chest, and it's like, hang on a minute, they're not sort of army generals, they've not been in, how come they've got all these decorations and all this sort of egoic crap, basically, all this symbolism they wear, red tunics and
I'm just so disgusted. Yeah, on top of all that, I'm just so can put videos like this out, James, and pretend that they're real and get us interested, and that the Queen was cutting a cake. It's pathetic.
Well, it's no different. Pretty much everything you look at is.
Well, you know what? They've got other titles that they're not telling us about. Probably like they're the prince of that. That's probably what it is.
It's all egoic stuff, isn't it? If you think about it, it's all trophies and medals and awards and and making themselves feel good about themselves. They're pretty sad, really.
Well, I don't know, but the thing is, as they're cartoons, then no one's gonna. They're not gonna see them, are they? Because they're cartoons. they probably don't even watch. Oh well, I was at Buckingham Palace today, was I? Okay, then thanks. You know, they don't care, do they?
No. No, it should be pretty obvious. The majority of people mean absolutely nothing to them. I mean, look at the terminology.
They've already
in the
sold their
workplace.
souls, haven't they? The people who are playing them, the actors, they've already sold souls by even if it's okay. You can use my picture for the video. You can use it. Whatever they've done, whatever part they've played in these videos, they've sold their souls because they've taken money for it.
Well, I don't even know if they even had one in the first place, to be honest.
True, James. True.
I suppose the closest that you can get to the truth on it is they'd be like what would be those disembodied spirits after the flood, as it were. They're not from nature. They've got nowhere to go. They're stuck here. They're part of this realm. So.
I know, but this is going to be our history when. Oh, it's all fake.
That's not our history, is it? That's the whole point. None of it is our history.
Look at that hand and that. Anyway, I think the Queen is giving up with the sword now, and she's going to pass it over to someone else and get a knife given to her. But she just looked like an idiot for the few minutes there, fumbling around, trying to cut a cake she can't cut. And then...
That's probably all by design, because, I mean, it follows with
she can't have the cake anymore?
No, they seem to... Well, that could be...
She can't have her cake and eat it anymore.
That could well be the message that they're putting across. But they do these sort of humiliation rituals on each other anyway.
This is the lottery. It's a cake with the national lottery on it.
It's Duchy of Cornwall, isn't it? It's Charles and Camilla territory, basically.
Oh, God. I mean, do you think they're real people, or do you just think they're all cartoons? I just don't know anymore whether they're actors, real people. I don't know anymore, James.
I mean, not real to me, but, I mean, a classic case is if you've got, say, you live next to a railway bank, and you can prove it, and you use that land of that railway bank to grow stuff on, after 10 years you can claim it. But in Cornwall, it's 70 years. I wonder why that is. I mean, it's like, why is Cornwall different?
Well, yeah, if you say, I want this land, you'd never see it, would you? 70 years later, you'd be dead.
Exactly. And then you've got that cluster in sort of North Devon of sort of rock stars and people with money, all sort of have got this community.
I don't know, my video's coming to an end now, James.
Yeah.
That's a good question to leave at the end. Maybe people can put the answers in the chat room. Thanks very much for watching this crazy video of the Queen. I mean, not out with Biden and not cutting the cake. Thanks, James.
That's okay. You're welcome.